King Manadeva, the first authentic king of Nepal. After the downfall of Kirati rule, Soma dynasty came into power. After that, Lichavi rule began in Nepal. The Lichavis had come to Nepal from India. The capital of Lichavi was at Vaishali, across the Ganges from the ancient city of Pataliputra, modern Patna in India. After it was destroyed by Ajat Satru, they flew away to Nepal. Supuspa was the first Lichavis to enter Nepal, and Jayadev first established Lichavi rule in Nepal in around 380. Jayadev first was the first king of this Lichavi who has defeated Vaskar Varma of the Soma dynasty and established Lichavi dynasty in Nepal. King Manadeva was a prominent king of the Lichavi dynasty in Nepal during the period of 464 to 505 AD. King Manadeva was a Lichavi dynasty king of Nepal who ruled for 41 years, was a great conqueror, administrator, culture lover, and art patron. He was a remarkable king who ruled the kingdom for more than 41 years without any challenge to his authority. King Manadeva holds a special place in Lichavi history as the first authentic historical king, great conqueror, skilled administrator, culture lover, and art patron. Manadeva's Changonaran pillar inscription, dated 386 Sambat, was considered to be the earliest stone inscription of the Lichavi period and the beginning of Nepalese written history. Manadeva was born as the son of Dharmadev, who belonged to the Lichavi dynasty of Nepal. He was the grandson of Sankardev and the great-grandson of Vrasadev, two prominent figures of the Lichavi dynasty. He was talented in warfare and had the education of Shastras and Astras. He loved his subjects and tried to ensure equality in his kingdom. King Dharmadev, the father of Manadeva, died suddenly for unknown reasons when he was young. Gopal Rajbhandari states that it was Manadeva himself who killed King Dharmadev. During the time of Lichavi King Dharmadev, water stopped flowing in the traditional stone drinking fountain of Kathmandu, including Naranhiti. According to the story, at that time, there was a drought in the country, and when the entire drinking fountain, river and ponds dried up in Kathmandu valley, the people were worried and there was a lot of chaos. King Dharmadev was greatly distressed by this. When the kingdom was about to collapse, the religious king Dharmadev sent the tantric to find a way to open the water. They looked to the drinking fountain of Naranhiti and requested for a sacrifice of a man with all 32 powerful zodiac characteristics, and only then the tantric suggested that water will come. The man with 32 characteristics in the kingdom was either king himself or his son Manadeva. So either King Dharmadev himself had to be sacrificed or his son had to be sacrificed. Due to the problem of air, Dharmadev decided to sacrifice himself. He called his son Manadeva and ordered that anyone who is found sleeping in the rock at night, you cut him without looking at his face. Manadeva went to Naranhiti that night as per his father's order. A man was sleeping in a blanket with all cover. According to his father's order, Manadeva cut off the head of that person without even looking at his face. Then water came from Dhungedhara or stone fountain as soon as the human sacrifice was performed. After removing the cloth, Manadeva saw the body of his own father Dharmadev. It is mentioned that when going to wash the sword with the same stone fountain's water, the fountain said that it will not even look at the face of the murderer who killed his own father. Even now, there is a popular legend that because of this, Naranhiti's two stone fountain heads is turned backwards. Even if we look at Changonaran temple records, the sudden death of Dharmadev, and the fact that Queen Rajyavati has mentioned this incident many times, so historians have not been able to reject this legend. It is believed that Manadeva meditated for some time after killing his father, and when he returned after meditation, he built the Bodhanath Stupa. There is a history that King Manadeva ruled for 41 years after Dharmadev's head was cut off. Even in Gopal Raj Vangshavali, it is mentioned that Manadeva killed his father Dharmadev without knowing it. Manadeva was the first proven king of Nepal. Manadev's time is taken from 521 to 562 Bikram Sambat, that is of 41 years. Manadeva built Changonaran temple, built Managriha, and introduced currency called manang. According to Changunaran temple records, during his time, the kingdom's boundaries extended to the Himalayas in the north, Gandaki in the west, and Kosi region in the east. Manadeva also stopped his mother Rajyavati from committing sati. Rajyavati falls among one of the rare women who is mentioned in the inscription and is talked about in Nepalese history. She was the mother of Manadeva and the wife of King Dharmadev. In Nepal, long ago, if a husband dies, the wife was supposed to offer themselves to their husband in the fire. The system called sati was eradicated by Chandra Samset during 1910 AD. After the death of King Dharmadev for some mysterious reason, Rajyavati had to go to sati and she wanted to go to sati. But Manadeva was very young and needed someone competent to guide him. So it is said that Manadeva convinced his mother Rajyavati to stay with him and not to go to sati. His mother Rajyavati, upon her husband's death, chose to assist her son in ruling the kingdom rather than going sati. According to the governance system of that time, feudal lords were appointed in areas outside the capital and they were mainly under the king's control. However, whenever there was any weakness in the center, they tried to become independent. King Manadeva faced a similar problem when he became king at a young age following his father's sudden death. The surrounding feudal lords began to demand freedom, but he did not appear weak. Instead, he decided to suppress the feudal lords and sought his uncle's assistance in this task. After he ascended the throne, the Thakuri and Kirati governors of the eastern province tried to revolt with the aim of gaining independence from the Lichavi kingdom. Manadeva marched with a huge army and suppressed the rebellion forcefully. King Manadeva went to the area between the Tamakosi and Arun River in the east, first at the behest of his mother Rajyavati. The Kirats controlled the region, but the Kirats surrendered to Manadeva's army. After establishing his sovereignty over the east, King Manadeva marched west. Manadeva tried to reconcile the feudal lords of Mallapuri across West Gandaki by talking to them first. But since the feudal lords here did not want to unite with him, it was necessary to solve the problem through war. Mallapuri was across Gandaki river. Crossing Gandaki was not easy. Manadeva made the necessary arrangements and sent his uncle's army first to cross Gandaki to besiege Mallapuri. Later, he also went to Gandaki with a large army to attack Mallapuri. The feudal king of Mallapuri could not withstand this attack of Manadeva. After making extensive preparation for the war, King Manadeva bravely sent an army under his uncle and laid siege to Mallapuri despite a huge flood in Gandaki. The exact location of Mallapuri across the Gandaki has not been discovered so far. Historians have assumed that the Gandaki crossed by Manadeva is Kali Gandaki in present day. Thus, after taking the feudal lords of the east and the west under his complete control, he placed a large eagle pillar inscription in Changunaran with his mother for worship, sacrifice, charity, etc. He had at least 3 queens: Bhogini, Chema Sundari, and Gunavati. He was a family man who loved his wives and children dearly. He set a great example of the responsible king who was committed to his family and his kingdom. Queen Bhogini was the eldest wife of King Manadeva of the Lichavi dynasty. She is famous because Manadeva issued a coin in the name of Bhogini. She has been provided the title of Sri as well as Devi, which means that she was the most respected queen of King Manadeva. King Manadeva is also known as the first money-issuing king in history. He has the inscription Sri Manak on the front and the statue of the lion below it, and the inscription Sri Bhogini on the back and the idol of goddess below it, which highlights the importance of queen during the time. King Manadeva was a religious and a spiritual person who respected all religions equally. He was a follower of Vaishnava religion, evident from the Garuda established at Changunaran. He built 2 Vaishnava temples in the name of his mother Rajyavati. His queens and daughters, on the other hand, believe in Saivism. King Manadeva himself set up a Shiva Linga at Budalinkanta and built some other Shiva temples. He built many Shiva temples named Maneshwar, Dhara Maneshwar, and Pravadhara Monastery. Buddhism was just as popular at that time. He also established a Buddhist monastery in Patan to house monks and nuns. The monastery he built was called Manbihar. From all these details, it is clear that he respected all religions equally. King Manadeva was a patron of the arts and architecture. He encouraged and supported the construction of various temples and statues. He commissioned the construction of the Trivikram Vaman and Vishnu Vikram statue, which are considered some of the finest examples of Nepalese sculptures. He also built the famous eagle pillars that can be seen at the Changunaran temple complex. He also built a palace called Managriha. The location of the magnificent palace he built have not been yet determined. However, in the details obtained, its structure can be understood from the literary sources written in recent times. The palace was 7-storied with 7 squares, and the entire area of the palace was surrounded by walls. Inside were 2 large ponds and a temple. During this time, Palansuk Bhagwati was established in around 560. It was drawn by a woman named Vijayaswamini. He divided the army into 3 groups of elephants, horsemen and footmen. He did not make the army fight. He himself also fought with the army and won. After returning from the battle, Manadeva made many donations, dharma, and had an idol of Garuda installed. Along with the story of the glory of his ancestor, he also wrote the victory narrative in the column. This is called Changunaran's column. Language and literature had developed in the times of Manadeva. An account of Keltol states that he was interested in the Vedas and various other scriptures. From the Pasupati Suryaghat records of his daughter Vijayavati of 562, it is seen that women's education was also in the society at that time. He was the first Nepalese ruler to commence written history. His governance skills are evident from the Changunaran records and other sources. The people were observed well as Samyak Palyatha Praja, according to an inscription from Deupatan in 534 Bikram Sambat. The record of Keltol states that pure spirit Prakriti, Pite Dayate Srimane Devo Nripaha, meaning that he loved the world like a father. In the same record, there is also a description of the arrangement of Dharapani or water for the happiness of the Raitis or people. In the Changunaran temple records, he is described as loving the knight, a friend of the poor and orphans, and knowing the law of the people well. He installed Garud pillar in Changunaran temple with inscription glorifying his victory after attacking and conquering Mallapuri kingdom with the help from his maternal uncle. In addition to his love for art and architecture, King Manadeva was also a skilled administrator. He introduced various policies and initiatives to promote the welfare of his people. He implemented a system of irrigation to increase agricultural productivity, which resulted in the expansion of farming and settlements. He also made efforts to improve the living condition of his subjects by building new towns and cities. In conclusion, King Manadeva was a remarkable ruler who made significant contribution to Nepalese society. His legacy is a testament to his skills as a conqueror, administrator, art lover, and patron of the people. Through his policies and initiatives, he transferred Nepal into a prosperous and thriving nation. His life and achievement are a source of inspiration for generations to come. He ruled for more than 41 years without any challenge to his authority and was succeeded by his son Mahidev in 505 AD. Thank you.